Philadelphia Eagles will enter this game this week with a trip to Super Bowl 57 on the line as they will take on the 49ers in the NFC Championship game in Philadelphia. And despite the 49ers being easily the Philadelphia Eagles' toughest test yet, the Eagles' destiny still rests in their own hands. And as long as the Eagles are able to do these things throughout the course of the NFC Championship game versus the Niners, then they will be able to punch their ticket to Super Bowl 57. But what exactly are those things? We're going to talk all about that in this video today. But before we do that, make sure you go subscribe to the channel if you want more consistent Philadelphia Eagles content. You're not going to want to miss any of it. And with that being said, let's continue on with the video. I think it's safe to say that this NFC Championship game is going to be great. I really don't think we could have gotten a better matchup than the Eagles versus the 49ers. I think we've known for a while that the Eagles and the 49ers are the two best teams in the NFC. Both teams have showed their dominance all season long. They're both playing great football right now. Both have extremely talented rosters and are great in all facets of the game. And I think there's a lot of people out there that are saying whoever wins this game is probably going to go on to win the Super Bowl. And honestly, I think I might agree with that because I do truly think these are the two best teams left in football. So this game is going to be super exciting to watch. The Eagles are coming off an extremely dominant win over their rival New York Giants in the divisional round last week, where they won by a final score of 38-7. There was a lot of doubts about the Eagles headed into the week. They weren't looking right towards the end of the season, and they kind of stumbled towards the finish line, but they came in and they showed out in their first playoff game. They had a dominant rushing attack, their defense was smothering, and Jalen Hurts made a big difference being back, looking pretty much 100% healthy in this game. And throughout the course of the season, the Eagles have been great on both sides of the ball. Offensively, they have a bunch of weapons. Jalen Hurts has been a huge difference maker for the Eagles, jumping from year 2 to year 3 this year, taking a huge leap, being one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL and being an MVP finalist. And then defensively, the Eagles defense had 70 sacks this season, which was the most in the league by 15. They also have the third most team sacks in a single season of all time, and they also had the #1 pass defense in the entire NFL. This Eagles team has really been dominant all season long, sitting with the best record in the NFL, tied with the Chiefs at 14-3. And then for the Niners, they're coming off a nail-biting defensive battle versus the Dallas Cowboys, where they were able to find a way to get the win, and their defense was really the reason they won this game. They were able to create turnovers, making Dak Prescott turn it over, and then the offense capitalized off that. Even though this game was close and not exactly pretty to watch, the Niners found a way to get it done, and that's what good teams do. For the Niners all season, their defense has been the calling card. They're sitting at #1 in the league in points allowed and yards allowed per game, at least for the regular season. They have a very good front seven, and the defense has been able to shut down opposing offenses all season. Then on the offensive side of the ball, obviously the big storyline, not just for the offense, but for the entire 49ers team, is Mr. Irrelevant himself, Brock Purdy, coming in for the injured Jimmy Garoppolo and not losing a game since he started. He's been great for the 49ers, who also have a bunch of weapons on the offensive side of the ball. So like I said earlier, these might very well be the two most talented teams in football and just the two best teams in football right now. So the stage is set for an amazing game. Now I think there's a lot of NFL fans who are split on who's going to win this NFC Championship game between the Eagles and the Niners. Obviously there's a very good case to be made for both teams. Like I just said, they're probably the two best teams in football right now. So obviously this game, in a lot of NFL fans' eyes, could go either way. But I really do think that the Philadelphia Eagles have a couple advantages in this game. There's a couple things that they can do that would be huge keys in them being able to pull out the win. And if they're able to accomplish these things, I think they'll be able to get the win and advance to Super Bowl 57. But what exactly are the advantages that the Eagles have? What exactly are these keys to victory that I'm talking about? Well, let's go over them. Let's start #1 with a couple advantages. #1, and I think it's a pretty obvious advantage, this game is set in Philadelphia. The Philadelphia Eagles probably have one of the best, if not the best, home field advantages in all of football, in potentially all of sports. The Philadelphia fans are absolutely crazy about the Eagles. I think everybody knows this. We all know what happened last NFC Championship game between the Eagles and the Vikings back in January of 2018. It was absolutely insane at that game, and the Eagles were able to start fast, go on, and get a blowout victory, and the crowd was engaged the entire time, and I think that played a huge factor in slowing down the Vikings offense in that game. Obviously, last week the crowd was also going crazy versus the Giants as they were able to get a blowout win there. The crowd's going to be absolutely different. I don't know if 49ers know just how different this Philadelphia Eagles crowd is going to be on Sunday. For a chance to go to the Super Bowl, it's going to be absolutely electric. And then add on top of that, you have the guy putting the 49ers t-shirt on the Rocky statue. Do you not learn from other people's mistakes? Do you not remember what happened during the NFC Championship game matchup between the Vikings and the Eagles when the Vikings fans defaced the Rocky statue? Go Bears! Go Bears! I think that only adds fuel to the fire. These Eagles fans are going to be crazy on Sunday. It's going to be absolutely insane. It's going to be a great atmosphere to play on, and it's going to be a huge advantage for the Eagles. And then number 2, and I think this is one of the biggest difference makers in the entire game, if not the biggest difference maker, and that's Jalen Hurts over Brock Purdy. Obviously, Brock Purdy's been good this season. He's obviously not lost a game yet as the starting quarterback of the 49ers, and he's been a lot better than expected. But Jalen Hurts is clearly the better quarterback. He's MVP caliber. He's able to make plays with his arm and with his legs. I think in this game specifically, his ability to not just beat you with his arm, but also with his legs is going to be a big difference maker, because the 49ers defense obviously is the best in the league. And I think that a lot of Niners fans believe that they're going to be able to come in here and stifle the Eagles' rushing attack. But what I don't think they're accounting for is that Jalen Hurts is going to be able to beat you with his legs. And of course, the 49ers defensive coordinator, DeMeco Ryans, is going to account for that. They're going to game plan for that. They're going to be expecting Jalen Hurts to have some design plays. But I think one of the very important things about the Eagles offense this season was Jalen Hurts' ability to read a defense, especially on those RPO plays that Nick Sirianni and Shane Steichen scheme up for the Eagles. They're able to read exactly how the defense is playing it, and they've been able to fool opposing defenses all season long and been able to beat them with those RPOs, those run pass option plays, those read option plays. Now, obviously, like I said, the Niners defense is going to be scheming for that, but I also think this is going to be a big difference in this game if Jalen Hurts is able to have success doing that, which he's been able to do all season long. And obviously, he also developed in this past offseason and became one of the better pocket passers in the entire NFL. All the questions coming into the season for Jalen Hurts was whether he'd be able to beat you with his arm and throw the ball from the pocket effectively, and he surely answered those questions. Obviously, he has a couple more weapons this year than he did last year, but he himself is just a lot more accurate in the pocket. He's able to step up and take a hit and still throw an accurate pass down the field, and he wasn't really able to do that last season. And I think that can also be a big difference maker in this game, and we'll get more into this as we go on here. And I think Jalen Hurts' versatility, being able to pass the ball and also run it effectively, is going to be a big difference maker in this game. I think if it comes down to a couple key moments, I trust Jalen Hurts to make those plays, whether it be with his arm or whether it be with his legs, because he is that big of an X factor. He's that big of a difference maker, and he's also such a great leader for this Eagles team. I think this is a huge advantage for the Eagles moving into this game, just having Jalen Hurts. Like Nick Sirianni said after last week's win, it's like having Michael Jordan out there. Jalen Hurts is a huge difference maker. He's a huge X factor, and it's going to be a huge advantage for the Eagles heading into this matchup versus the 49ers in the NFC Championship game. And again, this is no disrespect to Brock Purdy at all, because I think Brock Purdy has been very good in his opportunities. He's been able to make the most of them. He's got some very good weapons that he's been able to get the ball to consistently, and he looks very good in that Kyle Shanahan developed offense. But I think this kind of really leads me into some of the keys to winning the game, where despite how good Brock Purdy has been, I think what you have to do on the defensive side of the ball is try to slow down the rushing attack of the 49ers and then make them beat you through the air. Make Brock Purdy beat you from the pocket with his arm, because even though he's been so good this season, even with how well he's played, I think last week versus the Dallas Cowboys, you saw that if you limit the 49ers rushing attack and you make Brock Purdy try to beat you from the pocket, and then you are able to consistently pressure him, I think there's chances to make him make some tough decisions and just make him uncomfortable back there in the pocket. He is still a rookie quarterback. He's not perfect. So I think the Eagles will be able to do the same thing, because they have the best pass rush in the entire league. I think as long as they're able to limit what Christian McCaffrey does in the ground game in this game, and then you're allowed to have those pass rushers go after Brock Purdy and they're able to get consistent pressure on him all night, I think that's going to be a huge difference, because he's going to force him into some tough decisions. And then combine that with how loud the crowd's going to be, I think you have opportunities to create turnovers in those situations. And then obviously the Eagles also have the best pass defense in the entire league. So if you're able to pressure him and then have the elite corners of Darius Slay, James Bradberry, and then, Avonte Maddox returning this week, CJ Gardner-Johnson at the safety position come up and try to make plays on the football, I think you might be able to create a couple of key turnovers that maybe you haven't really seen Brock Purdy commit all too often this season. But I think this Eagles defense has the potential to create those turnovers, and I think that's going to be one of the big keys to winning this game. And then on the offensive side of the ball, I think another key to winning is starting fast. We've seen the Eagles start fast all season, and it's really allowed them to assert themselves in the game at an early point, get the crowd involved if they're at home, which they are in this game. So I think that's also going to be a big difference maker. If they get the ball and they go down the field and score right away, I think it's going to have the crowd a lot more engaged, and that's going to also be a big difference. And then once the Eagles do start fast, they're able to impose their will on teams' opposing defenses. Obviously, the Eagles have one of the best rushing attacks in all of football. I think, like I said earlier, Jalen Hurts is going to be a big difference maker here in being able to hurt the 49ers defense with his legs, along with the good running backs of the Philadelphia Eagles and Miles Sanders, Kenneth Gainwell, Boston Scott, and then obviously the best offensive line in the league also belongs to the Philadelphia Eagles. So I think if the Eagles start quickly and then they're able to have the crowd take over and then they're able to establish their running game, they'll be able to have success offensively, and I think they'll be able to get a lead and hold it like we've seen them do all season, as long as the defense also holds up there under the bargain like I just mentioned. But I don't think the Eagles are going to be able to run all over the 49ers like they did the New York Giants. I think they'll be able to have success running the ball, but I don't think it's going to be an absolute domination on the ground. So I also think the Eagles are going to have to make key plays when it matters most through the air, and that's why I said I think Jalen Hurts is a huge advantage in this game, because all season you've seen him make plays when he has to make plays for the Philadelphia Eagles, whether that be on the ground or through the air. And obviously the Eagles also have some elite pass catchers. I really could see one of the Eagles' great pass catchers, either A.J. Brown, DeVonta Smith, Dallas Goedert. I could see any one of these guys having a big game, because you can throw the football on this 49ers defense. That's the weakest part of their defense, is their pass defense. And I think as long as the Eagles are able to have a pretty effective run game, they'll also be able to hit some big plays through the air and make key plays when it matters most. And then the final key to victory for the Philadelphia Eagles in this game to advance to Super Bowl 57 is just to not turn the football over. The Eagles have been really good all season at not turning the ball over. It's just something that the Eagles offense doesn't typically do. They don't give possessions away. And in the games that they have lost this season, you've seen the Eagles turn the ball over a couple times in those losses. And that's usually the main reason why the Eagles ended up losing those games this season. So I think as long as you hold on to the football and you don't give possessions away, you don't give Brock Purdy short fields, I think the Eagles have a really good shot in this one. I think it bodes well for the Eagles' chances of winning this game, and I think if they're able to do all these things, they're going to end up winning this matchup versus the 49ers and advance to Super Bowl 57. But hey, that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. If you did enjoy this video and you want to watch more content just like it, you can go watch one of these two videos right here. We got an Eagles hype video. We got another video talking about the Eagles versus 49ers matchup. Subscribe to the channel for more Philadelphia Eagles content just like this if you did enjoy. Drop a like on this video to help push it out to other people. And with that being said, that's pretty much all I got for this video, guys. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.